Here we are. Another week gone by. Another 5 podcasts in the book.
Whew. Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
You got that end of week look about you.
Yeah. Well, it's a busy weekend. Busy weekend, I think, maybe. I don't know. Got some stuff going on. Some gaming going on.
Yep.
But, Paul, do you know what, you can probably figure this out, what Internet Explorer and Office 2019 have in common?
I believe they are two examples of Microsoft software that Microsoft has recommended you not use.
Yeah. That's about all there is to it. I think they described Internet Explorer as technical debt. I'm curious to see what they're going to describe Edge as in about 2 years.
By the way, you could have added Windows Phone to that list. Remember the recent support note said,
Oh, yeah.
You know, would you please move on to iPhone or Android, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of that going around.
Yeah, that I finally watched that Twins thing.
Yeah.
It's a little
contrived.
A little.
Well, you know, in the sense that
I would have gone with a lot, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's like, I'm adding this, whatever it is, to my presentation. And it's like the other one goes, oh, you have like an assistant that helps you with that. And it's like, it's a little too scripted, I guess.
Yeah.
But that said, a lot of people have hated on these commercials. And actually I will point out my own criticism. I don't think this has been levied enough. The problems with Office 2019 are all artificial in nature. The on-prem versions of Office, or what Microsoft calls the, what do they call it now? Perpetual version of Office. They've actually really hobbled these applications, right? So if you go back a couple of versions, I think if you go back to 2016 when it first came out, if you bought Office, whatever version, Home and Student, you could put that on that was for 3 computers, right? 3 different people or something like that. Now it's for one person, one computer. So the licensing has been restricted dramatically, right? So it's a one install, that's it. It gets no updates. So for a little while there, what would happen is Office 2016 would get many of the updates from Office 365 eventually. Now they're saying, no, we're not doing that anymore. You're not getting any updates. This thing you bought is the thing you get. And it also doesn't connect to as many cloud services. Obviously the basics are there, like OneDrive and so forth. But the cloud services that enhance the product in Office 365 are artificially cut off from Office 2019. I mean, it's kind of, I actually think that is kind of crappy because the value proposition of Office 365 is strong enough to stand on its own. But now they've kind of tilted this, but they're still, leaning on the scale on the other side by making perpetual Office. I hate even saying that word, but even crappier than it was, Yeah. It's too bad.
Yeah. Question from the chat room, Paul. Somebody wants to know what you're drinking. I'm assuming it's Pample Baboon or whatever that thing is.
Yes, it's how did you call it?
Pample Baboon, or what is it?
No, the LaCroix.
Yeah, I think that's what it
is. Right way? Yeah, I think you're right. It's a Pamplemousse, I think is how you say it.
Pamplemousse, not baboon. Close enough.
It's the French word for grapefruit. It's a non-sweetened, well, it has a taste, but there's no calories there's no calories, but there's no sugar. There's no carbs. It's lightly flavored, I guess we would say. It's delicious.
It's carbonated water, though. I can't.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome.
No.
It's so refreshing.
No.
You look horrified.
Well, I a very dramatic experience that ruined possibly that water for me. I was in France as a 14. Maybe I was 14 years old.
So like 3 years ago. You go on. I'm sorry. It's lobbing them over the fence. Anyway,
it's almost 20 years ago. Almost 20. Anyways, so we'd just gotten there, and what we would do, we were going with the school, is we would actually go stay with a French family for a couple days. And so we go to this house, and they greet us and whatever. Very nice people. And
where in France was this?
Right outside of Paris.
Okay.
And so they had a very French-looking house. It was just a normal suburban family, and we called it adopt a pet at the time, but we would go live with them for like 3 days. So you get like the full immersion. All they spoke was French. I mean, they know English, but we would stay there, sleep there, eat dinner there. We would go out for day trips with the class and whatnot, whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you're suggesting that they know English, but they're not going to speak English, I can assure you that's the normal experience.
Yeah.
So,
well, and it was supposed to be that way. It was like,
I know it's a learning thing.
Taken 3 years of French at that point, and they obviously you can speak English. Like if your leg's broken, you got to go to the hospital. Anyway, so I walked into this house and I asked for a glass of water because I just remember being insanely hot. And we get there and I'm not looking, and I'm talking to like my buddy or whatever, somebody, and they just grab it and just go, and it was carbonated water because that's what they drink in France, and not still water. And I didn't puke it up, but it took every muscle in my esophagus
I'm
to not.
I'm surprised you. I love sparkling water.
Yeah.
I routinely in a restaurant, if that question comes up, I always choose sparkling. I mean,
I was actually thinking last time I remember you drinking sparkling water was when we were in Seattle, which I was thinking about that trip for a behind the scenes video, which I've got an idea. I don't know if it's gonna.
We have a machine in the kitchen that it makes sparkling water. It's like an alchemist thing. It actually just adds, gas to water. Wow. But it's great. Well, until this came out. Now I don't need it because let me tell you something.
Well, you've got that and your love affair with your photo scanner. You don't need any other complex machinery in your house. Yeah,
I'm gonna write an update about that over the weekend because I think I told. Well, no, because the progress I've made is unbelievable. There are 2 shelves that used to be all the photo albums that needed to be scanned. There were 19 of them. Those shelves are empty. There are still 2 stacks of photos, each of which represents one of the photo albums. So those still have to be scanned, but the photo albums are gone. Like that's how many I've burned through. It's like 3,500 plus. I don't remember. I haven't counted it yet, but last time I checked, it was like 3,500 photos scanned, and whatever that time frame is. How long have I been doing this? 2 weeks, maybe?
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
I was about to ask, are you going to be able to finish before your 30-day return window is up? And
so that briefly went through my mind, but because I'm cheap. But no, I mean actually, and I'm pointing over there because you can see it obviously. But the other thing that's on those shelves are most of the unsorted, unalbumed photos, and those are going to take more time because they're loose and a lot of their origins is unclear. You look at a photo, you're like, okay, this is from the 90s. I don't know, like so there it is. Some of them have little notes on the the envelope, but some of them are literally just loose. So that part's going to take longer. I kind of did the albums first because it makes a frame for the rest of it. Because now that I know what's scanned, a lot of those are duplicates from what's in the albums or extras that didn't go in the albums. So now I know I can look at them and say, oh, this is from then, and I don't have to do this one or whatever. So. Anyway, I didn't mean to go off on a photo album thing again, but
when you take a picture of that machine for your updated one, can you just put some Hue Lights around it just to
tie
it all together?
Some ground effect lighting. Maybe I'll get like one of those, like the light strips like you got, but put it on the bottom.
Which I want to get more of those, and my wife is not said no, but she's just made some like snide comments like, I don't think we need those. Just
wow.
Yeah.
I tell you, put them behind the TV. Our TV happens to be, we've never done it this way. We've always kind of hung the TV up on the wall, but in this house, for some reason, we bought like a low hutch kind of a thing. So it's actually sitting on feet on the hutch. And so we put the lights just straight in a line on the top back of the hutch.
Yeah.
And it kind of illuminates the wall, behind the TV. And everyone loves it. Like it just kind of doesn't do anything. It's on 24/7. Like it just sits there on. Sometimes it'll change the color,
Yeah.
But it's just a nice kind of ambient light thing. It's nice.
Yeah. To answer Infinite John's question, why doesn't Brad play any golf video games? Well, there aren't any that are good. There was the last one that came out that I sort of liked was by EA called Rory McIlroy. They stopped making that. I think that game came out in 2016. There is what is it called? Is it Top Golf? The Golf Club. The Golf Club, which is okay. But it doesn't support. I haven't played the latest version, and I like to play golf games with the people I actually golf with. And the previous version of the Golf Club game, you couldn't play online at all, which was very 1996 of it. And so
yes, right. I used to play golf games a lot.
They're fun.
Yeah, leaderboard back in the day.
Yeah.
There was a game.
Non-stressful.
Yeah. No, I mean, there were. I actually did play golf briefly in my life as well, but I have a much longer history playing golf games. I haven't played a golf game in a long time.
Yeah.
I don't think. I don't know, maybe on mobile.
No Golden Tee in your day? Used to play a lot of Golden Tee in
Even like
college.
the little the mini golf games are kind of fun too. Like Zany Golf was a thing back in the early '90s. There was a game that was like really difficult courses where it was instead of you would putt, or not putt, but you would, you know, what do you call it? Drive from island to island over water, and so there was no room for, you know, you couldn't shank anything. Like you had to be very precise, and I loved that game. I mean, it was a long time ago.
What is today? February 8th? Is that today? Thanks for the tip there, Greg. Microsoft just released a new build of Windows 10 for the fast ring. Yep. 18334. It has some gaming improvements, which is convenient because we're going to talk about a game here in a second. Hopefully Paul's playing it. Yeah, we're excited to bring technology tailor-made for Windows. Help us validate. Anyways.
I just let Mahedi know in case you didn't see it.
Yeah. So just it's like tying it further into Xbox Live, and then just a bunch of known issues. And oh my God, the bug fixes are
well, they
quite
did
lengthy.
the bug bash, right? So maybe that's what that's from.
There's a bunch of known issues with this gaming update, which I still don't understand what it is.
So, explain what it, or read it.
It says we're excited to bring technology tailor-made for gaming to Windows. Help us validate these systems work
It's
as
like
expected.
an announcement from 1996.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. So you can play State of Decay for free.
Yeah.
Just tell us about any problems you encounter while installing and launching the game.
State of Decay is a good game. The second one's out now, but it's one of those zombie survivalist kind of things. It's good.
So this is a store app. I have a guess here.
I think it's an Xbox Play Anywhere game, by the way.
Right. I have a guess here. And it's an educated guess. Microsoft is working on making that, not game streaming, not xCloud stuff, but the ability to push partial games to your PC and Xbox, which they kind of do now, but it's terrible. It never works. Where it always says, like, when you're downloading a game, it says you can launch this game now and start playing. But all you can really ever do is just like get the first menu up, and then you can't actually play the game.
Yep.
I know that they're working on improving that system, and I wonder if this is sort of the start of that testing of that system.
I have a vague memory that there was a game when you install it on Xbox One. In the beginning, it said, are you going to play multiplayer or single player first? And then depending on what you chose, it would put that up first. And I just noticed when I installed that game, we were talking, what's the new Battle Royale game? Apex Legends. There's a little triangle on the progress bar that indicates when you can start playing it. You know? And I always wait till it's done. I mean, I would never, having had so many bad experiences with that, I just wait.
Yeah. So I wonder if that's part of this. I could just be completely off base, but yeah.
Okay. I'll look at that.
Yep. The other thing, too, worth pointing out, which I don't think this is actually going to go anywhere. Hats off to Sprint for suing AT&T for putting 5G on phones that aren't 5G and all that stuff.
I think they actually make an incredible case for this, and their case boils down to, you know, Sprint, like all of AT&T's other competitors, has spent billions of dollars upgrading our infrastructure so that we can offer true 5G to consumers. And this other company, which has made a similar investment, is slapping that name on something they already have in place that is not 5G, and it's that's actually, it's illegal, right? You're misrepresenting your product to the consumer, and you're harming your competitors unfairly. You don't have it'd be one thing if AT&T was like, we have it, we're ready, then you've beaten them fairly. But I hope they win this. This is crap.
Because it's going to be there's a couple things. I wonder how long, if this is more of just for show, what Sprint is doing, and they're just going to back off and whatever. They got the headlines that make them look good. But
AT&T is further along than Sprint is when it comes to
it's very true. But if it plays out for a very long time, I mean, this could be a kind of a defining case that you can't just rename technology using marketing terms to make it look like it's a better product.
Well, especially when 5G is essentially a standard. We've agreed what 5G means as far as transfer speeds and so forth. You can't just. And the other thing they said, I thought this was interesting. They're calling it 5G-E or 5G enhanced. It actually makes it sound like it's better than normal 5G, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, guys, you can't misrepresent your product like that. And I agree with them 100%. I don't think much of Sprint. I mean, whatever, but they're right.
Yeah.
I hope they win this.
I do too. We will see what what happens here. And speaking of things that I'll be doing this weekend, if you have not checked this game out, I've been playing it a lot. It's fun. It's good. And have you touched it yet, Paul?
Just briefly, it's
you got to give it an hour.
Yeah, it's a 3-man team kind of thing. It's still a really big map, and it does that thing in these battle royale games where it kind of shrinks over time. I guess. You got to run. You don't start off with anything.
Correct.
At least you run around and find stuff, which I hate. I like, I don't know, maybe it's just what I'm used to, but in Call of Duty, you always start with a basic several packages of loadouts or whatever, and they're fine. I mean, especially this latest game, honestly, the base one is fine. But then you can, move up in different weapons, different capabilities, whatever. And that's what you have. That's what you fight with. And it's a start over from scratch every time. You run into buildings and you open doors and you're like, oh, look, it's a health pack. Oh, it's it's like, I don't know. Like, I get it. I get the point of it. The scavenger hunt stuff is not. No, it's silly.
I mean, it is kind of.
Yeah. I get it. Everyone starts from an even, keel or whatever, but
yeah. Well,
I don't know. Games are smart now. You should be always matched up with people who are basically your same skill level, right? I mean, Halo 2, I think, introduced this concept. I mean, maybe not the first one, but it's one of the first. I remember matchmaking, this notion that we're going to look at how you've done and kind of give you a score of basically and match you up with other people of your skill level. Became a key feature of Xbox Live Gold, right? That's something that came out of the Halo games for Microsoft, at least. It's been around a while, So I don't know how this game does this. I don't know. I don't know. I run into. I think this type of game, they all have the same basic mechanics, and it's like, I don't know.
Well, we tried.
Yeah. No, it looks. By the way, it looks great. Graphics are great. And it plays fast. I mean,
it does play fast.
This deserves to succeed.
Well, it's already got 10 million players, so
those are really that's great.
Yeah, like it went from 0 to 10 million, and well, there's probably more than 10 million now. What, 5 days, 4.5 days?
What's the company that makes this?
Respawn. So it's Titanfall. The developers of Titanfall.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I got out of that one pretty quick too, but really well-made game, very nice looking. And you might make the argument that it kind of, although there were mech games in the past, obviously, but this notion of like jetpacks and things that kind of infected Call of Duty for a couple of games.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was a response to Titanfall, right? It seems like it would have been.
So, you got anything else?
Yeah, I mean, nothing dramatic. I've got some new PCs and also a tablet, oddly enough, that I need to write about. We'll try to do that. Excuse me. Yeah, that's about it. Nothing dramatic for the weekend that I can think of. Maybe try to get a book update out. I don't know. The usual. How about you?
Well, I'm going to be playing this, probably a decent amount.
So do you think you're going to switch now to this? Do you think this is it for you?
Yeah, I will go back to PUBG if they fix the game, more than likely. And I still might even go back even if they don't, if they add some stuff worthwhile.
Yeah.
But I've been playing PUBG almost for over a year.
How do you compare these things? I mean, I know the performance of PUBG is tough.
Yeah.
But graphically, it's a good looking game. I would say this is a very good looking game as well. The speed is much better, right?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if PUBG had the spit and polish that this game has, there's a good chance I probably never would have played this. But the problem is that PUBG, they released an update with a new map, and I'm not even joking. Like, you'll be driving in a car, and it will either just go into the map or honestly just take off into the sky. And it's been a pervasive problem. And
this is despite 2 years of development and a bunch of money for Microsoft, if I'm not mistaken. It's it's terrible.
Yeah, in this game, it's just faster, I guess. The gunplay's pretty good in this. I never liked Fortnite, and I never really got into the Call of Duty one. And this is supposed to be basically like the Call of Duty one, but if the developers actually cared and made a real game.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
That's that. But yeah. All right, folks. Well, we will wrap it up for here. I cannot talk. We will wrap it up here today. We'll be back next week. Should be a good time. Same people doing the same thing. Maybe or not. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend, and we'll catch you on Monday.